Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this video is all about this fella, BIVALD of the Thorn. I did a damage test on my previous video where I was kind of testing HP-based damage dealers alongside each other. BIVALD came up as like a mid-tier damage dealer, nothing too crazy. But he does need damage to do his kind of main abilities. So you do have to build him for a bit of damage. I'll show you through his kit. I'll do a bit of a play test in different dungeons and stuff here, so you can get a good feel for what he's like, and then you can decide if you want to get him for your kind of fragment collection. But my initial view is he's a great like mid-game champion who's going to help you get pretty far. I don't see him jumping into a load of end game teams as I've seen it so far. Just have a quick run through what's going on. A1, it's got a chance to provoke, books up to 50%, also heals someone by 15% of the damage that you do. So whoever's lowest on health gets a 15% heal based on your damage. Because importantly, it does hit. The provoke can go on a weak hit. So that's quite nice. It means that you don't have any affinity issues along the way. Same thing with his A2 here. No affinity issues along the way. Also, the leech can go through stuff like the poison cloud on Hydra, which is okay. But everyone else who's hitting will still be weak hitting. So it's kind of like they're trying to think it through. It'll be cool, it'll be fun, but it doesn't quite work. So double hitter here. I tested this one for damage, and it was okay damage, like mid-tier to weak damage, honestly. It was not that great. But you do get a provoke out. You do get leech out for your team, which is nice. Leech everywhere is always going to help you. And you strengthen yourself, which means you're just going to take less damage through this dude. At the same time as strengthen, 25% less damage, you get a provoke out, which means that you get another 15% less damage. There's actually significant damage reduction from the hits that he's going to take, which is going to be important for those like mid-game teams that are trying to push through dungeons. So this is actually pretty nice as a tank. We've then got the A3, which does hit quite hard, actually. It hits pretty hard. It's harder based on the amount of debuffs on enemies. So you kind of want, you know, someone like a Calvalax alongside him that's throwing out a ton of debuffs, or, you know, you kind of need another 3 or 4 to get some real value out of this ability here. So it attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 5% for each debuff. Also heals all allies by 20% of the damage. Again, it's that word, the damage. And places a shield for 20% of the damage. So it's like a 40% health gain, if you like, EHP gain. That's actually pretty juicy as well in terms of the ability. And as I say, it does a reasonable amount of damage on this one. HP in all battles aura, quite nice. It is a juicy size one, 28%. Spirit-based champion. As I say, I feel like he's going to be a dungeon grind kind of like pusher. So that's where I'm going to show him off today. In terms of masteries, I've set him up with War Master. As I say, I've tried him on a damage build with Helm Smasher and all the damage stuff, and it felt like it wasn't worth it. So War Master will at least give you higher hits against bosses, which again will give you better shield here. It will also give you a better kind of late game build. If you're just running dungeons or like waves of enemies in stuff like Faction Wars or Doom Tower, then you might take Helm Smasher just for extra damage. But I actually kind of like War Master on this dude. In terms of his build, let me just show you that quick as well before we go into it. Where did you go, my friend? In terms of his build, so I've made sure I've got his accuracy up to land my my debuffs. That's like my first priority. Reasonable amount of speed is a priority. Doesn't need to go first. He's not like a drop defense champion. In fact, you want your kind of drop defenses to go before him so that he gets his damage away. Reasonable amount of health. You can actually build his health up quite well. He's got quite a good base HP. 100% crit rate is what I was going for, but I hit 99. And then I got quite a lot of crit damage. So in terms of priority for stats, I'd say accuracy to land his stuff, health to stay alive with speed to keep moving, and then your damage kind of comes over the top of it. He's actually very similar to Brogni. Apart from Brogni doesn't really need accuracy, or he doesn't need it as much. So in terms of his stats he needs, he's very similar to Brogni, and it's quite a tough build for a mid-game account, honestly. So let's get him into probably the place that I would expect mid-game players to need him most, which is Spider's Den. So first thing I want to show off is his shield capability versus someone like a Miscreated Monster, because this is where I think he's going to add a lot of value. His A3 is juicy. You know, it will give you a decent amount of shieldage and healing. So if you're taking damage, it's a heal. If you're not, it's a shield. The first thing you could do is A2 and just get the provoke off. I'm interested to see what he does on his auto as well. But quickly, I just want to test this. So A3 hits, we get like a, well, pretty much like a what, 60 to 70% HP shield with his A3. It's decent. And I've got my miscreated monster built. It's probably a little bit weaker. It's not in exactly the same build, but I've got him built out in a similar way. So let's see what miscreated monster, who's well known for this. This is like miscreated monster's thing. Gets you through spider because he gives you that juicy old shield. So let's see what miscreated monster does in a similar situation with his A2. So his A2 is all about his shield. Let's see what sort of... So actually, not as much. So this dude has got at least the same shield capability as a miscreated monster who is known as the hard spider carry. That's so important to know, guys. Like, spider, for people coming through the game, is easily the hardest dungeon. This dude can do it. This dude can be your shield and heal champion. Albeit that's on a 4-turn. I think miscreated monster is on a 3-turn. But he also brings AoE provoke, which is a form of control. Okay, and he strengthens himself. And anyone who's hitting him with provoke is basically doing seriously reduced damage, like 40% less damage. Now, you can't take less damage from a poison, so to kind of ramp it up even more, you need resistance, which means, like, how many stats do I need on this guy to make him like the true tank? Yeah, but still, that is a pretty damn serious shield we've got going on. So, look, I know that people are going to be watching this and just saying, look, I can't get to your numbers. You've got a full great haul. You've got all of this stuff. So I'm just going to take all of his jewelry items off. And hopefully that will just kind of even the score a little bit around, you know, gear. I'm wearing rare gear rather than my good gear. We've still got the accuracy we need. We've still got crit rate and stuff, but we've lost a lot of the crit damage. So hopefully this is kind of more like a mid to end game type of build. I might even just try and slim down a bit more, but maybe we'll go crit rate gloves instead of crit damage gloves. So that, again, it just kind of pulls him down to more like a normal dude's build. Let's do this. So we're way over on stats now, but it kind of gives you a feel. 120% crit damage and 50 odd K health now. It's like more like a normal guy, yeah, mid-game build. Right, we're going to try this in. So I'm on stage 20 here. We've got control and healing. I've got some termite control, decreased speed coming from one of these two, some debuffs. We've got a burner. You know, Atoff can easily be the burner here if you've got him from Doom Tower. And we're going to run it on auto. We want an auto comp ideally for this type of stuff. Extra debuffs means more damage away from his A3. On auto, he does his A2. That's interesting as well. I've not seen that yet. So the burns are coming at him. Obviously, he's provoked these dudes, yeah, which means that they're doing 15% less damage to him anyway. Plus, they're doing another 25% less damage because of the strengthen. And then basically they're burning to death. We've got these massive shields up, even in this build. Look at this, these shields, guys. In this build, this is the shield value we're getting from this guy. He's actually huge for a progression account. Actually huge. Like, I can't even stress it enough how important this shield and healage is. It's so big for a progression level account. To add control, massive heal and shield, all into the same champ is brilliant, honestly. They're going after my Mordecai because of the affinity, but he's pulled them back in with the provoke. See the provokes across the board. So yeah, if I'm thinking about my free-to-play, is he someone I'd want to get? Well, Spider's probably the hardest area of the game to master until you do master it, and then it's probably the easiest area of the game to like speed farm. But it is the hardest to master as you're kind of progressing through. So damn, I actually feel like this guy is solid for this. Like, really solid for this. One reset from the spider, fine. And then that is going to be easily a dead spider here. We've got no problems at all. And I don't have a kind of genuine healer. We've got Seal of the Drakes in a healing, or just does a passive heal. This guy's heal, like, look at that. Heal to full, and then a massive fat shield. That is actually huge. That ability right there even with the gear he's got on right now, is a huge ability. So, yeah, look, no problem at all. Spider, like, very highly rated because he is doing exactly what Miscreated Monster used to do, or does do, but better, with more going on. He's also done 3 million of damage here, which is a lot, by the way. Those 2 AoEs doing damage. So, pretty damn solid there for Spider stuff. So, look, after seeing that, I'm pretty damn confident I could run the same team on Ice Golem 20 and get the same result. Because it's got everything we need. We've got damage in things like burns and with kind of general hits. We've got 1 reviver and a seal. We've got lots of healing between seal and BIVALD. And the shield is actually massive for when Ice Golem decides to do his big old one-pin smack. So, you know, the provokes and stuff don't really do anything against the actual boss part of the fight. The leech is nice enough, but nothing too crazy. The provokes are only really good when we're in this kind of, you know, wave-based stuff. So you kind of want to provoke to land here when these dudes are in the front are about to ruin our day. There it is. Provoke lands. And now we've got an extra couple of turns to kind of get the job done. And then when we get into the boss, really is A3 is what it's all about. Because he's given us a bit of breathing room and, you know, a bit of healing before we take the big old hits. So as I say, like for any wave, like I can't think of any wave-based content where this is not useful. This kind of combo in Faction Wars, in Doom Tower waves, in any of the dungeons to kind of get through the waves of enemies, it's going to be really useful. In terms of on the actual bosses, you know, it's not bringing anything specifically to Dragon or to Fire Knight, or really here, honestly, other than a big shield protector. And heal. He's not bringing anything other than that. So he's not going to be like a specialist in any of these areas. But he is going to be generally helpful to get through anywhere. Like, on my free-to-play, I'm thinking right now, he is in every single team that I'm running. Including stuff, honestly, like, you know, Clan Boss, that extra kind of chunky shield and heal is big. You know, it will just help my team through a lot of the kind of Clan Boss stuff. So, does he bring anything else? Does he bring me, you know, any other debuffs I want? Honestly, no. Leech is good. It means that you can come out of Lifesteal gear, and Leech will kind of give you the heal that you want. So that's a pretty useful change to a team. And the heal and shield will give you a kind of additional healing to that. But he doesn't bring anything else. It's not like a decreased attack, decreased defense, any weaken. You know, there's no other abilities in there. And there's no cleanse or anything like that for stun. So he's kind of like a bit of a jack of all trades. I can help you everywhere, but I am not the main event. You know, I'm not going to be the first one on the team sheet for anywhere, in my opinion. Like, he doesn't come in and become #1 in the game for anything, but I think he can play everywhere. That's kind of where I see this guy. This is going to be an easy clear. We've already blocked revive on 1. If we got a second one, then that's job done. So let's move on. Okay, I've just picked like a floor at random here on Doom Tower Hard, 67. So a decent way up. Just trying to show really what I think he's going to do on wave-based content. So, you know, you've got someone like a Seal Control, someone like this dude Control as well. So we've actually got AoE full stun away from Seal there. That's pretty unusual. But basically, as long as you can lock down waves of enemies and, you know, you've got a decent way of getting some damage away, Magnar's my damage in this setup, then I think you kind of just get the job done. He's on a 3-turn cooldown on his A2, so it won't be too long before we get back onto it. Probably need like 1. Is it here already? It's here already. Perfect. So basically, as soon as the next wave lands, he's provoking all of the major threats. And because of his passive and the strengthen, he's actually just taking a massive damage reduction from those hits. Just gives us a chance to try and get the job done. They will get some damage against us, yes, but basically if you don't have like the normal sear combos or the poison exploders, all that type of stuff, then this is pretty much what you've got to do. You've got to just control lock your enemies, and this dude is going to help you do it with a 3-turn cooldown on that 100% provoke. So look, is it going to be like perfect compared to sear just blowing stuff up? Of course not. That's the easier way of doing it. But if you don't have that at your disposal, then you kind of need versions of this, you know, and you need to kind of work your way around it. So I think he's going to be an awesome progression champion. I think he's going to go into, you know, most people's teams that are working their way through. And because he's not tons of books, it's like 9 books, I think, then, you know, he's worth the books, in my opinion. His A2 and his A3 are both worth the books. The biggest shame with this guy is that Provoke only works against Magma Dragon as a boss, and it's already the easiest boss in the game. And he doesn't bring another debuff which works against bosses that gives you real value. So, you know, he is a tank, yes. He is a strong legendary, yes. But because he doesn't bring boss-related stuff, I feel like he kind of loses the edge a bit in terms of being a real game changer. But still seeing here, like, he's the second highest damage dealer in this team. He's pretty damn solid. He's built like a bit of a truck. And I can see people getting massive, massive value from him. So, but there you go. BIVALD of the Thorn. Let me know down below. Are you going to be going for this guy or not? Let me know. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.